My name is Mark Brown and this is my journey deeper into God's Word. The other day I posted the following question on my Facebook walls, a couple of my personal Facebook walls. If Jesus walked the earth today, what would he get angry about? And they got a lot of responses, a lot of comments. And one of the interesting themes was quite a few people said, well, Jesus never got angry. Anger is a sin. Let me read a passage that has something to say about that and came into my mind as I was reading the comments. This is from John 2 verse 12, starting verse 13. When it was almost time for the Jewish Passover, Jesus went to Jerusalem. In the temple courts, he found men selling cattle, sheep and doves, and others sitting at tables exchanging money. So he made a whip out of cords and drove all from the temple area, both sheep and cattle. He scattered the coins of the money changers and overturned their tables. To those who sold doves, he said, "Get out of here! How dare you turn my Father's house into a market?" John 2, beginning of verse 13. Did Jesus get angry? Oh yeah. But he wasn't just an angry guy. He wasn't just someone who had anger issues. He got angry when it counted. Now, let me just unpack this passage just a bit to give you a sense of how angry he was. He didn't just walk in and say, "Now look people, I really prefer you wouldn't exchange money, you wouldn't be selling cattle or doves. You know, could you perhaps, if you don't mind, move on?" He walks in. You can just imagine his eyes were just lit up. He would have gone red. He would have walked over, grabbed the whip, made the whip, and he would have just started flailing it around and yelling at the top of his voice, "Get out of here! Get out!" And he would have walked up and he would have pushed the coins. I mean, it would have been an incredibly angry, violent scene. He overturned tables, it says in verse 15. This was a Jesus who was anything but meek and mild. He was furious. And why was he furious? The whole focus of Jesus' ministry, one of the foci of Jesus' ministry was, of course, the poor, the destitute, the widow. He was incredibly focused on those who were struggling in society. And here in this passage, it's no different. They went to the local church, the poor, those in need. That was the temple of the day. Because they wanted help, alms. They wanted support. And when they turn up, who's there but people trying to fleece them, trying to make money off them? Money changers, they were having a percentage commission. Those who were selling sheep and cattle, doves, they were all trying to make money. And Jesus knew they were trying to exploit the poorest of the poor. He knew whatever system they used, we don't know. But he knew, it's clear from this, he knew that what they were doing was so offensive because they were taking advantage of the needy. And again, he didn't just politely ask them, he told them to get out and stop making my Father's house into a market. This passage speaks very, very plainly to me. Jesus got angry, and it is okay to get angry today, but it has to be things that matter, things that count. This is not permission giving for anger issues. That if you're constantly angry in your life, that's all right. Jesus got angry in the temple. I'm okay. No. If you're someone who gets up and is angry and goes to bed and is angry, and everyone around you is walking on eggshells, and at any moment you have a short fuse and you start losing it at your kids or your wife or your boss or a random stranger in the supermarket, in the shops, the store, then you need to deal with that. You do not have permission The Bible clearly does not give you permission. This is not what this story is saying. You need to hand that over to God and seek transformational healing. What this says clearly is that it's okay to be angry if it's focused on injustice, on serving the poorest of the poor, on standing up for them. You know, I do a lot of flying. And one of the things that I love about airlines is that if you are struggling, they get a wheelchair out, and not only a wheelchair, but they get a staff member, and the staff member will take you through security and customs and onto that plane, and they'll help you from the minute you check in to the moment you're sitting in your chair. And I think that's absolutely extraordinary. In the same way, or in a similar way, that person struggling and will struggle to walk and get through onto the plane, we are called, I am called to help and journey with those who are struggling in life. And it is so easy to forget them in my middle class comfort. It is so easy to ignore it. And the question for me, the question I ask myself as I read this passage is, what did I last get angry about? Well, the last time I really got angry wasn't to do with an injustice. It wasn't. When was the last time I got angry about poverty? When was the last time I got so worked up that I got out my whip metaphorically and started taking it to the authorities that were exploiting the poor? When did I last stand up and be counted and do something for the poor and the lowliest of the low, those who are struggling? I have a responsibility, and the Bible is clear. I have a responsibility in my strong position to help those who are not as strong. And this passage absolutely challenges me to the core. I need to do more. I need to get more angry. And not about pathetic, petty things, but about poverty and injustice.